up, they go where the plane goes. Really smart if they can adapt to it. Now, they didn't really show us that yesterday.
This is a plane that's going to be negative for a Vanguard and Penta. They get to their spots quickly, but they're going to be last out of the plane. So far, they've gotten good loot. So the question is, can our top teams adjust to the later looting cycle, or will the bottom teams benefit from us finally moving on a west to east path? Who rises to the top? I don't know.
It's an exciting time. Let's see if those top dogs can continue their dominance here in Group A, or if we can see the upsets come out. Let's head over to our commentary team for all the action.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, I'm Lee Demon Smith, and joining me is the Sims for this one as we go into the final day of Miramar. 2 rounds of Miramar into 3 rounds of Erangel, and I think everybody's jumping for joy about that one. We'll see exactly where the circle is going to be, but at the moment, drop-wise, it's looking fairly standard from yesterday. 7th again, taking a couple of pot shots at the Jokers as they fly on by up to La Cabrera. Everybody kind of in their sort of standard spots. Alliance going to get a couple of pot shots. And Richard, I believe you're the expert on this northwestern circle, correct?
Why? Oh, God. This is now, what, the 4th circle I've seen in a row of this? We had 3 last night, so it just became a very resident sleeper game because everyone kind of had everyone's number. And the fact that they knew where they were going to go, generally how it was going to play out in the form of just get into the circle, just get one of the compounds and kind of rush mid. And it turned out for a few teams that they were putting themselves up against the wall, and it kind of just all... The issue with this circle is it puts you in that position where it all depends where it goes, because you will go and get a compound and you're praying for a hard shift. If that doesn't come, you're stuffed because the team directly in front of you. So it's a land grab. That's necessarily not always the case, but this circle last night became a total who can get the circle.
Who can get up there. We did have a San Martin finish as well. I believe we don't have game sounds yet. That's probably going to get sorted out in a moment. Obviously, we are early morning here in Minsk. Thank you very much for joining us if you are here. I know it's a very early morning. 9 a.m. start over in Europe, and 8 a.m. if you're in the UK as well. So very, very early stuff. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. It's going to be a long day of PUBG action. 10 rounds once again of Group A and Group B. TSM, a team that seems to have come together very well. Obviously, you know, you're looking at some of the lineups like the likes of Alliance that have had a number of roster shuffles way down the bottom of the table. And then you look at TSM, a team that's come together so well in their inaugural performance here on LAN.
I think it's a lot of, obviously, TSM fans out there. There's a huge fan base behind it, so they'll be jumping for joy seeing that the guys are doing well. This is only one day, right? And it's rough to say this is absolutely the best TSM we've seen so far. So you can't go around throwing that out and about. But I've got to say, from a comp player stance, there's some strong individuals. You've now filled it with a 3-man Danish roster. Obviously, you've got Rory, who is from the UK, but a Danish strong roster, players coming off the back of Dignitas, for example, one coming from Ghost Gaming, one coming, and also Method. They've played for a lot of teams. They've been around for a while. This is certainly a very strong individual. When you put NPR behind all that as the head coach, looking behind them and putting... I mean, Marius's mind is something that rivals a lot of these players individually. The man is a frigging genius when it comes to rotations and how things should be played. So you've got him in the back, watching where players go. If it's the one thing that Marius does well, and I do know this, is that it's not just his team that he's more concerned about, it's what's going on around him. What are the other teams doing? Where are they going to be rotating from? Where are they going to be dropping? What is TSM's best line of defense in order to get to the circle? How do they avoid other teams? How do they take compounds if they need to? So, all in all, very strong 5-man squad. It looks like the first knocks coming out.
That was such bait.
I know it's yesterday.
That was total bait.
Do you remember when we were watching Ival back at DreamHack a long time ago?
Yeah, I was trying to say that the other day. And
as soon as I saw him up on stage, I thought, oh, Crash, you've made it.
Yeah, Evil, yeah.
Everyone hated him after killing Dr. Disrespectful.
I mean, I don't really, you couldn't really tell what was going on the screen there because I was looking at the mini-map, seeing it. They were starting Monte Nuevo, the Zen guys. They basically went up there, and you just saw him, obviously on screen, you could see him driving around Mirado. Evil had actually pulled up at the next compound, was sat ready and waiting to take him down. Absolutely well aware the Alliance were the guys, G2 were there, sorry. And a total bait and first kill for the boys of G2, who have just had a torrid time yesterday. And it doesn't look like it started off any better. Zuktat Nam, by the way, finished off obviously with the chicken dinner win. That is a hell of a crate.
4 gear as normal, extended mag, and pop it up to 7 bullets as opposed to 5. Generally speaking, you're not going to be firing off and slamming shots anyway, regardless, because of how much ammo there isn't in that gun. So that'll be a nice crate for them. You've just seen the warning sign, so the circle will now begin to push in. The blue will encroach. Bullets are already going. There you go. Sounds come back through. Thank you very much, guys, in the back. Turtle with the SLR. There's, is that a tag? No tag on just yet. There is a comp on the end of it, so I'm certainly going to help him out. But again, this is kind of what teams like to do on Miramar. They look at, all right, let's take a look at where this road's going to be. Oh, he's tagged him. It's back of the head, that.
Yeah, that was a big old hit. Yeah, Sans Domicile, they were generally early rotating yesterday. They've done it themselves. They've come out of Minas Generalis. They're already looking at the 6-minute mark to find the central point. But they did very well yesterday. You know, they're in a decent points position. This is the ex-Millennium guys, especially THZ and Sezco. They've been predominant in the Broadcaster Royale side of things, are very strong duos. As Millennium, they were always kind of there or thereabout in qualifiers for LAN events, but never quite made it in the final the final round. So we'll see how they perform. They certainly were looking pretty good yesterday. Did get caught out a number of times in rotations, though, early on.
That's what I really like about this game. Like, for instance, we can look to Ival, who was just smashing people back at DreamHack, who were like, oh, this kid's pretty good. He's probably going to do something in a fair amount of time. And you see him on this roster. You mentioned THZ. He turned up with Yuki to the floors of Gamescom. He wasn't an invited team.
We're going back to Martin's era, right?
Yeah, all the way back, because he was at the same.
2 years ago
they
at Gamescom now.
Turn up on the floor, not invited. They queue. They get through the qualifiers, and then they battered everybody. 2 random guys that have never teamed together before, both from France, smashed everyone and got 35 grand. Simple as that. And 2 1080s, i7s, you name it, all the goodies. And when you see players like this in PUBG progressing on over time and getting better, making it to top orgs, making it to top teams,
yeah,
I mean, it
shows the dedication, right?
Absolutely.
French guys go over to Gamescom to queue to perform. You know, that in itself shows, especially if anyone's been to Gamescom and you know the queuing that goes on at Gamescom, that shows incredible dedication to just do that. Tornado here, X-Team. Wow, what a performance he had yesterday. This was the 22-kill game that Tornado delivered. As we mentioned, 700 points in that one round. Of course, they are in the top 8, and that's really what it's all about, progressing through. You need to be in that top 8. At the moment, the current cutoff is 938 points. We expect it to be around 3,000 points. If you're in that sort of buffer zone, then you're in a great place. For people like Penta, already close to 2,000 points. They are basically in cruising time. I had a good chat with them. They're sat next to the Vanguard guys as well. You know, they said, it could have been better yesterday, but now the pressure is off. We're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy it. And that's when teams get most dangerous for me.
With Penta, I don't believe they got a single chicken dinner yesterday.
No.
Nope. So it kind of shows, and then even when you look at Tornado, how many points they have. 1954 for Penta, 1442 for Tornado. The kills were completely different, but with Penta it shows consistency. If you are consistent in this game, the points are in the placement. If you get up the leaderboards, if you're always finishing top 3, you are going to absolutely fly through this competition. Fair enough, 16 points per kill. They're pretty worth it. They're pretty heavy. You know, as soon as I think it's like when you get to 7, that's when I think it's about 7 or 8 when it starts to turn on there.
Oh,
kill feed.
Talking
Fuel
about
out.
rotations again. The poor Sans Domicile guys. Hilo going down. Caught out. Must have been caught in the open there. I mean, it's Gustav and Wookie, the Danish duo that obviously used to be formerly Dignitas and before that Lumbermill, etc. So been around for a very long time. Turtle and Rory, of course, holding the compound. So this 2-2 split that TSM have been running, it's not really a 2-2 split here, but has been working very well. It's obviously some teams do the 2-2 well, some teams do it terribly. Penta, they were so confident they said, we feel certainly with the lobby as it is, we feel it's a weaker lobby, therefore our 2-2 is very strong, which is what they were doing yesterday. They are kind of just, it's a close setup at the moment. The Jokers here, of course, they started out in La Cabrera, so no surprise to see them plumb center. We'll see, of course, where the circle posts in the next swing. Will it hone in on one of those cities? Who knows? San Martin's in there once again. Always a dangerous spot to go. Zuktetnam that benefited from that circle yesterday, the last circle of the day. If you missed out, we had obviously the 5 games for Group A and Group B, all on Miramar yesterday. And today, just the 2 on Miramar, 3 on Arangal. A lot of teams delighted to move over now there, but some teams have kind of become specialists on Miramar of late.
I mean, it's a good map to pick up to kind of get one over on the teams that are constantly scrimming and constantly battering Erangel and have been doing for some time now. It was a new map injected into it, so a bit of a doorway to say, okay, you guys have got a lot of practice on one map, we can make this our own and pick up some points. You speak more about that 2-2 split. Teams are doing it. Me personally, I don't like it. No. I don't necessarily think on this.
It scares me sometimes.
That's what I mean. If you're going to get caught individually, then there's absolutely no res that's going to come through. You might have one partner, but then you just become a sitting duck. You split up from your teammates. It's so open, and the snipers are so prolific on this game, on this map specifically. I'm not a fan. I prefer to get a compound, work as a 4, move as a 4. Like, Rec were doing it yesterday. They were playing pretty damn well. You always had one that were falling back to watch the backlines. Kind of like the old Liquid days when we saw, you see Scoom and Samty just chilling at the backlines. But another one.
Oh, that's another a bait crate as well. Look, it's right between Jokers and 7.
So you've got the Ghillie in there. All right, it's not the yellow one that you kind of want on this. The silencer won't be fitting onto the sniper
another
rifle.
Crate. That's it. That's a straight drop for Isuba. Max Sizer kind of fancies it, but Isuba's definitely going to get there. Force Walker had a crate yesterday as well. Walker is going to be an AUG, so he'll be fairly happy with that one. He's just going to have a little peek around, make sure he doesn't get caught out.
Southern Swing. That's a bit better than what we had yesterday.
It's a fairly hard shift, though. Obviously down towards Power Grid Way, and Gamers Legion look to be benefiting from that already in a great spot. Zuktat Nam also in a decent compound there. Going to get pressured, and G2. Come on, rotations, use your brains, boys. They're just going directly south again. I was just talking to about this. I was like, I've got to be honest, your rotations are literally as though you've got a sat-nav answer, an A to B, give me the fastest route, boom. And that seems to be how this worked out. Now, it looks like they're all just trying to plumb straight for that center.
I'm going to correct myself. This is literally identical to yesterday. The edge of El Pozo, the edge of the cliff face.
Can we get PUBG Corp on the phone?
This is literally almost, if not identical.
If you knock on that wall,
this is so bizarre.
Enough. I think the servers are just the other side of that wall.
Honestly, I can't get this. It's either a carbon copy or it's damn well close to it.
Where did it finish?
I think a little compound down at the bottom was where we saw M19 having the fight. So
it's open at the moment.
It finished there. I'm going to point to it. Just where you've seen the area restricted.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye. If it finishes there, that's literally a carbon copy.
We're going to be like, go next door, because the servers are next door. The server guys are all sat there. We're like, I don't know how your Korean is. Mine's a little loose. I can say hello. That's about as far as I can get.
My English is barely any goodly. I'm from the north. I get enough trash as it is.
Wow, look at that. Look at the amount of teams that are taking the swing over to the east here. Look at it. Obviously, Alpachinki were coming in late anyway. Penta, TSM, SDF, all clashing with one another. That is a very congested. I wonder if any of this is going to pop out of the vehicle and take a couple of pot shots. If you do, you're going to get gate kept. You can see there's people in vehicles. There's people pulling up. Is Chris going to get knocked in there? Brexco gets Gustav down as he tries to pull up around the side there. Will flush out Gustav. I think the rest of the TSM are going to pull away. Wookie Bookie is nearby. He gets a knock onto Chris. I think he just finished him off. He did. He got the flush on Chris there. Brexco on his own just tucked behind the vehicle. Now you can see Sans Domicile up above, also pulling up, want to get involved.
I don't think he actually pulled up. I think he flipped the car, unfortunately, which now put him in this fight. He's going to run away from it and back off. He does have the support of his teammate from behind. Rory's with him. Turtle will also turn up. I'm surprised Turtle's on the road, if I'm completely honest. Oh, this is sneaky.
Third parties.
Yeah, and he's got the K9, but they'll be giving away the position by doing this. They'll also help TSM out in the form that they'll be moving on to Penta now, which they're going for the ties. Brexico's looking. Can I run away from this? Unfortunately, no. I think you're in for it here, son. There's two players, or two teams, should I say, looking down upon him. So.
Oh no, that buggy that's rolling away from him. That smoke.
Everything's gone. They're just taking out all the tires and just removing any kind of utility. The only way to do this is try and run. There is a distance, so the shots won't be the easiest in the world. But because there's so many, and because there's so many bullets, and there's six players, excuse me, that have a line of sight on him, he's going to get buried here.
Yeah, he's trying to use that smoke as best he can to edge away, and he's realizing, well, there's a Murado there, that's my best option.
I'd go for it because of the range.
Oh, okay, so he's seeing TSM go away. Is he thinking I'm clear? But no, now he hears the shots coming on him. TSM wisely, by the way, realizing that Penta Brexico was pinned there, crew were pinning him, just thought, you know what, if they're going to open up on them, let's get out of here. SDF doing the exact same thing. Sans Domicile following behind. Steph there trying to peek out the window and do what he can. Got to be careful. They tried this yesterday and got absolutely battered when they tried to go for some of those drive-by shots.
You don't often see it, but it's nice to see it when it happens. Boo, you will find Anto. That's a knock. That's the mini fine in the face, unfortunately for him. 5.56, all right. And it's only green compared to the 7.62, but on the minis with the damage multipliers, it's a very dangerous weapon, and that's where you see a lot of the minis in play here. It's DMRs are definitely still strongest guns in the game. The AR up front and personal. Drive-by again, smashed off, Penta.
Well, this is not the start they want. I mean,
no,
to go down 16,
potentially losing 2. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised the other guy hasn't died, to be honest with you. Brexico was in a horrible position. That bike's almost got, yeah, he got the Murado. So is that the one without the tyre? Oh, Uda's gone down, so they found him, Lee.
Oh, that's going to be Alpachinki they've actually gone into. So that was the bike we just saw coming through. He has gone into the compound, so he's behind the wall. But you can see Alpachinki in the distance there in the foreground. They're running towards it. Meanwhile, TSM, they found themselves a compound, pulled up near 7. That is over on the far side. I got to be honest, Rich, the circle, it's going exactly where you said.
Yeah, it's again, I'm not going to start saying and confirming things. It's not for our job to do that. These circles are supposed to be completely random, and it might just be a complete coincidence. But it's looking almost identical to how it's running. Like I say, we know where it ended yesterday, but with that mountain, what kind of juts out the introjection? Here comes the push from AP. Finds Erdir again, so he'll now be bleeding out. And he comes down to Brexico in the distance. He's probably completely bombed away from this. Then exactly where Kaint is. Silenced. Scar, red dot, only 5% deviation on that. It would be nice to have something like a comp or a flash hider. It'll still hurt up close and personal, but when you've got so many players surrounding you, they don't know where he is. Now they do, giving it away. Time to run. He's down. He's dead.
Yeah, that was kind of a panic play right there.
Ooh, Alliance.
So it leaves Brexico all alone. Alliance, Moleman going down. Meanwhile, G2 looks like they've lost the second player as well. 60 also getting flushed out by Isuba on this hillside. So T-Bone and Michael, the last two standing. K-Jordan are going to go around the side. He catches him, and that's T-Bone down, and now Alliance just down to the 1.
That's not good. That's not good at all. SLR in the kill feed, doing its task. We saw the Armin play as well. Michael's got to run. You're the last player alive. You've only got 450, which is absolutely terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, boys. You've got a lot of work to do today, and when you're potentially going out in 16th place again, you're putting yourself up for not even qualifying through the rounds, through the group stage, which everyone's very surprised. Turtle and Rory, they've gone down. That must have been a vehicle kill. Yes, it was indeed on transition. So that's TSM also now down to 1 individual player. Wookie Bookie in the distance just thinks, nope. The Line Giant will make for the hills and get the hell out of there. Zayan has flipped the vehicle. That's all right. They're back up and running. That's fine. 7 onto a nice trade-off there. Finds Steph, but his teammate finds him. You've heard in the background there, Sesko. That's a K9 onto Momino. Hits him and knocks him. Krabik will be found and finished. That's an instant flush. Same for Steph as well. So answer backs, trade for trade here. Potentially, it looks like, ooh, they actually, SDF might have the advantage here. One player up, or is
SDF are kind of spread. THZ is way over in the circle.
They could push
on
this
the
if they wanted to.
So Sesko's on his own, and he's going to get the flush. He's got the flush on 7. They go down in 16th place. They were, well, second from bottom already at the start of the table. It hasn't been a good performance from them so far on the LAN environment. OHM getting battered as well. That's going to lose 2. But they do get reply, and that's Brexico going down. And Penta, the current points leader, down in 15th.
Okay, and this starts to shake things up a little bit. I mean, for Alliance, it was their asses were twitching, but they're not going to be 16th, which is lucky for them. Set turns up, and unfortunately he's turned around. Instantly knocked and flush. Snooper says, thank you very much. 16 points. I put that in the back pocket. Michael's still alive again. They're moving up the charts. It's not good still, having 1 player down at this point. This is the replay from the initial kills that we saw in the background that we didn't quite catch on stream, so you can take a look at how it all went down. It looks like it's straight across on the backside, to be honest with you. They did manage to hold them. And obviously that Xiphon kill from G2, that was your second kill. I think he got rezzed, actually, with the AWM. It's always bad when you get knocked by an AWM, because it's like, yeah, I know the follow-up's going to come through here, and I'm instantly dead. There's just no getting away from it.
Well, with the way the circle's going, it looks like Avantgarde, they've piled into the north on a 2-2, but both Tornado and Gamer Legion looking in a great spot. Avantgarde got Alpachinki right on top of them. Dream Few coming straight up right next to Snoop. He couldn't really miss that one. I think I could have landed that shot. And, oh no! What happened there? They've just knocked. Where did that happen? Dream For You also get taken down right in front of him. Was that the, he bailed. So the driver got shot. He tried to jump out the vehicle, and then he got knocked by the vehicle. That's just about as bad as it gets.
It feels bad, man.
That's really bad.
The good news is it's not a carbon copy circle.
It's not.
No, it's not. We've actually got the field.
It has made a shift, and he's gone straight towards Tornado.
It's an interesting one, though, Lee, because this puts like a two-sided map. And look at
double
Tornado.
dip, yeah.
You've got them, Kings in the Mountain. They can just hold the line, hold the fort. East Suba will also be able to hold one angle. I don't think Tornado will be able to see them from there. So all these teams on the mountain side, on the back of the circle, there's no real, because it's going to be uphill. They're going to be very open. Teams will be able to shoot them pretty much. There'll be no hiding for it.
And also the northern tip of it here, I don't think it's actually passable,
nah,
right?
There's
it's
nothing
too high.
There's nothing you can do, because you're just going to get slaughtered. That's what happened, unfortunately, I think, to Rec either once or twice, where they came off the back of this and then just died on arrival. But Tornado and East Suba right now, if you can eliminate one of these teams, you can crash that compound, or if you can just take out Isuba from the left or right, you're going to be in a very happy spot. If Manga can hold the line, you can see the kills coming through in the kill feed. In fact, G2, they're done. They're out in 14th. Another poor performance, unfortunately, from Wacko, Velen and the boys. M24 seals the fate. Joker player turns up, and now he turns out. Maxi says, thank you very much. That's going to be what? That was the AUG player, so it says, I'll take your level 3s and your ghillie suit and your gun. Cheers, boss. Nice delivery.
Oh, OHM have tried to make a move, and you can see the huge crossfire that's just happened. They've got absolutely slaughtered as they've tried to make the move. I think they went past Crew. Meanwhile, I can see Fenerbahce taking pot shots at them. Oh no, another vehicle hit there going down. That's the Zuktat Nam guys getting wrecked in the kill feed. THZ also going down. I think that's possibly the end of Sans Domasano. Sesko, the last man standing. OHM holding the ground. Koski gets taken down. Gamer Legion, meanwhile, disappearing Zuktat Nam. They're going to go down in 13th place. The winners in the final game yesterday. OHM are going to be following as Crew managed to finish them off in 12th place. Fenerbahce still with 4 alive. This is probably one of their best performances. They had a bit of a bad day yesterday. Crew as well. But it's really all about Tornado, who just had one knocked.
So Maxi are actually incorrectly. It wasn't the AUG player. It was the, unless there was another AWM we didn't see. He managed. Maxi's been given a big upgrade, so the ARM comes his way and the level 3s. Tab's trying to tab out of this, so to speak. He is getting away with his life for now, but that's what I mean. Every single time, it's where do you go? He might get the plateau, but Maxi might be able to do some work here. He's opening up a gap potentially. He's knocked one from from Tornado. They're still in the compound. They're dead center. This is going to be an absolute rough task to
mid-air.
Inject yourself in, but Wookie's found one as well. That's Maxi. Oh, Wookie's gone down. TSM 11th place.
Good night, Land Giant down and Avangard. 7 kills and counting, looking pretty strong here as they started out yesterday. It seems the morning games is their forte. If you think of how they played GLL day 1, they did really well. Obviously, the new lineup working well. Used to be random friends in the qualifiers, but they've got 2 men down at the moment. Comp catching another one out. Tornado Energy still sitting great in that middle, and that's going to finish off Snoopy. He was the highest damage dealer for Avangard down. Kamka, that one of the highest damage dealers for Tornado as well. So still looking in a solid position. That compound you can see in the middle really giving them a big advantage. Avangard trying to use the hay bales, but look at the circle. It shifts in towards Tornado, and they have the perfect position.
I love how the coughing cam just comes in on the right. You just see the body, the bullet just hits him. It's like, yep, there you go. He's dead, just to show you how it happens. He is done for. I'm interested to see how many, I think, is it 3 or 2 still remaining from Avangard? It might be. They may have potentially got the player up, but Snoopy unfortunately hit the blunt end of a K9 and then was finished, and the scar from across the map came through to end their run on this. But
I would say Isuba probably the biggest threat to Tornado right now, because they can come down that hillside. Tornado, is it a slightly blind approach? Yeah, they have a decent rundown. It's still a tough move. Obviously, you got Michael, formerly living up to his name, Survivor there, trying to hang on for Alliance and get as many points as they can. We're up to 9th place, so it's 100 points and counting from here on out.
So it could also potentially, like you said, the bigger thing for Isuba is if they manage to get in, Alpachinki's gone, and they got wiped out. So that's all of Avangard just completely taking them apart. But if Isuba can distract Tornado and take an eye line off the field, then Avangard can make their way in, because right now they are just sitting ducks and a couple of hay barrels to work with, and that's about it.
I mean, if you just look to the left where Cruz, well, right here, look how much little cover there is this side of the road. That nade's going to finish off. Rupture.
Close.
I don't know if it's close enough. The second one may well do. I think he's got that little ridge. There's a third one, maybe.
Getting closer every time.
Not still doing the damage to him. The fourth one, okay, that's going to be just past him. It's gone too far now, would you believe it? Four nades coming out from, I think, Bjorn there. None of them able to find the home. Timber's got over the road. Okay, Bjorn's going to pull out the gun and finish it off instead. So he's got himself in the shack. Meanwhile, the rest of Gamer Legion have gone over the road. I like this positioning they've got here. Makandark finds Fenerbahce as they try and crawl away into the circle. Gamer Legion are going to collect a couple of frags here. They're already up to 9 and counting.
Most importantly, they've got 4 alive. So they'll be able to move together. But as you can see from the players here, unfortunately, on Fenerbahce, that's a lacking utility. No helmets whatsoever, not even level 1, so there'll be full 100% damage to face. 200 plus if you have an AR or a sniper. I think it's about 240 and 250. A couple of pump shots from Mark. Honestly, I won't even bother. I just try and get in right now because you're going to get smashed to a billion pieces if you do run across John.
Oh, Michael, he's been found. It's the Gamer Legion. They found him, and that's a 10th kill and counting for Gamer Legion. This is probably their best performance so far on LAN. 6th place for Alliance. That's a good finish for them, points-wise.
They lost 75% of their players in one go. So to keep, for Survivor, Michael, to keep that late in the game.
From 16th, I think that would have been,
yeah. From 10 places, essentially, his survivability has jumped them. No kills, I don't think, in the bag. Maybe 1, potentially, but yeah, 16th, up to 6. Good job from them. They needed that because they had a bad day yesterday.
This could work. I want to see the ridgeline of where Gamer Legion are because the circle kind of works for them, right? Fenerbahce behind them. Oh, Bjorn's just sent it for the crate. He's gone for the crate on the road there. But Tornado now realizing, okay, this compound is slowly peeling away. Yes, they do. They have this ridgeline, Gamer Legion. That could pay dividends for them. Bjorn's just got himself an AWM down at the bottom here. eSuba are going to come up. They have to go through Tornado. Gamer Legion could third-party this and pick up kills.
Exactly what's going to happen with eSuba. We did say there could be the downfall of Tornado. One of them's initially been picked off. This will allow Avanga to now step in. Avanga have actually answered back as Anuctive does find one. I mean, it's time to kind of crawl the hell out because grenades are going to be coming his way, but Beyond's in such a great spot here from the rest of the pack. Now all of a sudden Fenerbahce have been turned on. Now they've been seen. That's one. Where's the second follow-up? The blue will start to hurt, and more importantly, there's going to be, I'd be surprised if they had a single chest between them. Yes, they have one level 2 chest between 2 players.
Bjorn's trying to nade them, doesn't need it. That's
Nails it. Done.
Fenerbahce done and dusted. 5th place for them. Decent performance overall. Probably their highest point score, I think, for Fenerbahce here in the morning. Meanwhile, eSuba, Swalk again taken down. He was the one that found himself the crate earlier on. Melman doing so much damage. He has been an absolute beast on LAN so far. eSuba trying to use this smoke approach, and this is going to distract Tornado. And Gamer Legion are paying full advantage of this. They're already on the flank around the hills.
He nailed himself, Lee. He must have hit the back. Either that or he thought it was smoke, so Melman, he actually might have been knocked one out. No, he must have knocked himself. He went down, so Tornado may have been their own worst enemy there, and this is where the third party causes all kinds of problems.
Look at Nuktiv.
Compot finds one, but this is again, this is what I meant. This all pays dividends for Avanga. They wait until this fight goes, and they just third party both of these teams, let them do whatever they want. Beyond comes in, finds Suba, and all of a sudden they're gone. 3 teams just pick them all off individually. And now Avanga are allowed to claw this one up and claw themselves back in. Melman's been completely finished. And here comes Hamster, vehicle in tow in the back. Beyond with the AWM. 2 enemies at both sides of the gates. Where do you look?
Exactly. Anuctiv and Azran. Gamer Legion, this really is a great position for them. If the circle doesn't completely pull away, that's going to be really what takes them. Compot nearly finding the head of Makandark there. That looked like he was so close to being on it. Just must be whizzing past the helmet there. Bjorn, of course, with that AWM also up close. Tornado just keeping in that compound. Only picked up 4 frags because every time they peek out, they're getting, DMRs coming straight back at them, frankly. The circle about to update phase 7. Where's it going to force them to go? We'll see, it's going to push off, and it goes to the northern fields. Compot's little compound is inside, but that is about all.
Now, more importantly, if you look at Azverin's position, he can literally hide behind the hay barrel, and he can do nothing. He can just sit there because he's so far up against the edge of the circle that nobody can get in, around, or behind him. He could play for placement here and let either Tornado or Gamers Legion just kill one another. Avanga can easily get second here and maybe even knock a few more players and pick up some extra kill points, but for me, if Asverin just survives in that little, I think you actually got one of the huts as opposed to
I
the
think so. I think it's a hay bale hut thing.
That's, for me, that's guaranteeing them second place because the rest of them have to interject themselves into the circle.
The vehicle. The rear vehicle running Hamster. You can see Gamer Legion, they're going to have to try and run it. Timber and Hamster going for it. Makandar going to try and give the pressure down. You can see just going for X-Team. And Compot round the side there. Gets it to the bales.
Yep.
Now the question is, will he see Asran as he gets in there? They get Compot down. That is a big hit. Compot was the Car 98 that was keeping him at bay. X-Team's going to have to go for it. Now Bjorn and Makandar are going to make the push around the south side and go straight to the compound. So Hamster, Timber up on high as well. They've gone for the double vehicle push and both found trees. Really good push from Gamer Legion.
To use the vehicle like that, not only as bait, but to make sure they're inside the circle and ahead of the game was fantastic. Good work from Hamster. Good follow-up from Timber to give him the cover. Now he's just trying to nade out and get a feel for this. Meanwhile, Bjorn and Makandar, they can advance to the building. They can wait for Tornado to come out and just be the SWAT team that flushes the final players off this. Alarm bells have rung. Dinner bells are out. Everyone's woke up. First player comes through. The rest of them, they're in so much danger. Here's the push. Here's the flood.
They get inside. That's going to be 1 down. Tornado down to 2. Meanwhile, Avangard, they're happy to watch this play out. They're thinking that we can just get a second place. But no, Onoctive's thinking, I'm going to push now. I'm going to try and take advantage. He's got the blue on his back, so he has to get moving. Gets around the side there. Kamka getting pushed. Gets the spray down. Onoctive will take him down. And now Tornado down to the 1. They were in such a prime position, but their compound has been flushed. And they're going to go down third place as Onoctive gets himself the kill. He will get knocked as well. Gamer Legion look like they're going to take the ball by the horns in game number 1 here. Asverin, just the last man standing. They know exactly where he is. And look at this. The AWM's out. The Mini 14's out. Timber's going to send it to the left. Actually, may get taken down here. Asverin trying to push for it, but he's getting pushed. He's focused on this, and Bjorn's just completely pushing onto the side of him. Pushes around the side. Bjorn will find him. And Gamer Legion take game number 1 with 18 kills. The boys, formerly of Loot Goblins, absolutely performing here. They had a tricky day 1 with a middle-of-the-table performance, but boy, did they turn up in this match.
Well, an absolute great read of the map and great read of the circle. Good split all in all, good teamwork, good communication to direct that final circle through. Some of them taking the hillside, one of them pushing in with the vehicle, not only to be a nuisance and a distraction, but to also get them inside in the circle if they needed to. But still, from Avanga, they read it well also. Again, keeping those Asverin just staying put. Says, okay, well, I'll just keep crawling along. We'll use this and we'll wait until you boys fight out and do whatever you want to do. Suba gets split between 3 teams. Tornado falls. Avanga take the second, steal it away from everybody. Fenerbahce in the back lines, how the hell they were still hanging on with 1 level 2 vest between them, I do not know, but still made it into the top 5. Alliance 6th placement, good compared to the 75% loss they had initially, denying them the 16th, and then we dropped 7th, 8th, 9th. Who's going to be that crew? SDF and AP.
I mean, Avangard are going to be topping the table right now in Group A, but Gamer Legion, 972 points all of yesterday. That's close to a 700-point game, I would say there. 18 kills in the win, chicken dinner. That's definitely way up there. So solid performance from those boys. I'm glad to see them do well as well, because obviously we've been talking about, say, performances of Team Ready, obviously at GLL, and how some of the teams like, for example, Penta. Penta, when they went to GLL Season 2, obviously they made adjustments in the team since then with Chris coming in. But most teams will struggle on their first event.
Yeah.
And this is Loot Goblins, obviously their first big event. They were at, I think some of them were at PGI qualifiers as Copenhagen
Definitely
Flames, I believe.
names.
Definitely some of the names were in there. So they've got those LAN jitters. Everybody has LAN jitters. I don't care who you are. Everybody has that little bit of nervous period. So it looks like, you know, they've got that day 1 out of the way. They've had a mediocre performance, and now they've stepped in. The confidence that first game is going to give them, and they are a confident team, should step them up for the next 4 games, of course. We're going to have 1 more in Miramar, and then we're moving on to Erangel, where they do very well.
I think more importantly as well, you've got to remember that Penta falling early kind of opens up
TSM
the board
as
a little
well.
bit more, and TSM. So all these teams kind of at the top, not all of them completely, but certainly a few. They'll be getting a very lackluster performance in that game, which affects them in their overall standings. And this group itself was, you know, a little bit hit and miss. It was top heavy ended, so kind of opens it up for everybody else to have a go now moving in.
Absolutely. Fantastic performance.